Okay, season 2, episode 14. And our 1-year birthday.
1 year almost.
Corrie's
birthday. Okay, what she means is Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. This whole shebang started
When
in
Corrie
our
had
garage.
this
Just kidding.
right next to Steve Jobs.
Except he took off. We
It
did.
was like a year ago, Corrie had said, like, goodness, cookie people be putting their logos real big on photos. And I think we led to a conversation over lunch. We're like, oh, yeah. And Corey's like, there's kind of a gap in the market of like how to sell cookies. Like there's so much on how to make cookies, but when it came to selling, like a lot of groups that you can't talk about pricing, you can't charge more if you're not good at it.
Or the worst is charge what other people around you are charging.
Right. So Corey's like, yeah, I see a lot of people leaving money on the table, but this is so much work. All I do is like, expenditure of a lot of money, but it feels like the whole industry is holding itself back from really making a profit here. It's kind of a burnout central.
Right. It really was. So what I said to Heather is let's start a Facebook group about marketing. Because if you don't know, Heather and I actually work in marketing and we do cookies.
I had no idea.
Also.
The whole year, I had no idea.
They run both of our lives. But we are marketers first and foremost. So I said, hey, what if we help people by starting this group and talking about how they can market their business? A lot of you guys are amazing cookiers, decorators, and bakers.
Gotta get paid for it.
But you're not good marketers. Just kidding.
So like a lot of the things that we, like I said, it was the way you sell a car is the same way you sell a cookie. It's the marketing principles that are pervasive throughout our lives.
Yeah.
And just copying and pasting them over from different products. The approaches may be a different, unique approach, but your target audience, you narrow it in, you find out what their pain points are, and then you sell to them.
So because I was already making and selling cookies, I said, hey, let's start this group. I said, worst case, it'll just be me and you talking to each other in this group by ourselves.
So Corey and I spent 5 hours coming up with a name, really something we wanted creative that really told people what we're doing and was, just really set us apart. So Sugar Cookie Marketing Group.
It took us 2 seconds. That was
so we can go back and change it.
But it honestly, we started off just talking, me and Heather, even though we work in the same room during the days, I was talking
Against
to her
my will
via the group. And then we started inviting people in. Of course, good things grow slow. So it was
deep rivers.
Yeah. So we had the OGs. There was about 50 people that maybe 4 of them are still around.
Yeah. Amy.
Yeah. But it's been awesome to see the people that started with us at the beginning have grown so much. And now we're almost, dare I say, we're approaching 30,000 people.
I think you're rounding up, but I like it.
There's about 3,000 pending.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of pending people. Not for any reason other than they haven't answered questions.
You didn't have to. Yeah, you didn't have. No, you have to answer the questions that you didn't. But it has been so awesome to see people grow, to see people find their value.
Where's it hard for you today, man?
I have this headache.
Okay.
And it is.
I told Corey
above
we'd
my
wrap
upper
this
eye.
up. We usually don't do the podcast so early, but she seemed like a grump cinch. So I said, let's just knock this out and you can go
It's
home.
been a day.
But yeah, so the Cookie Marketing Group has been a year old. Goodness, words are hard
Words
for
are
me
hard for
too.
you and you don't
I don't
have
have a headache. You're my headache. So what would you say you've learned in 1 year having run this group?
I have learned that there is plenty of room at the table.
Oh.
If I'm successful and if you are successful, we can be successful together. And there's still too much work out there for the both of us.
Amen. The good thing about cookies is they get eaten.
And then you eat multiple times a day.
Yeah, so
I'm always
it's all
hungry.
working in our favor, guys. What's something that surprised you?
It surprised me the hatred for beads.
That
You
would be
can hate an inanimate object so much that you have a fashion mind.
What's something that you didn't expect?
I didn't expect so many people to grow. I think we're horrible. Just kidding. We're bad marketers. I didn't expect that so many people would take the information from the group and actually implement it. Because we can talk all day long. The hard work is you taking the information and actually applying it to your business. It's so easy to read something like, yeah, maybe I'll do that next season, next Christmas, next year. But a lot of people learn something and then we're able to implement it right away and see those benefits. And that was super encouraging to see someone who was struggling maybe a few months ago, like too many orders. What do I do?
That's not a struggle. That's a win.
No, back. when they had
Oh,
no.
oh, yeah. Okay. What's something you would have done differently? Is a cat asking to go outside?
He's on his way.
Okay.
What's something you would have done differently? And I'll let the cat out of the bag.
Okay, something I would have done differently. I probably would have launched the membership a little earlier. I think we honestly dug our feet until CookieCon asked us to speak, and then we kind of sat down and really dug into it. So I probably would have done that probably 6 months before we actually did it.
What are those questions you just asked, but ask yourself? Because I'm not.
I didn't write them down. I just put them out of my butt.
They were so
These are
well
questions
done.
Thank you.
What is something you learned from the group?
I have learned a lot about mob mentality. Not to say that this is an angry mob, but how you can direct a conversation based off of the first few comments in a thread. How you ask the question, and a lot on the algorithm as it pertains to groups. I am very, very shocked by how Facebook favors groups right now, which explains why they're running literally TV ads on groups.
Yeah, that's what Heather said when she was watching the news. I don't have cable, so I live a life of oblivion.
You're not missing much.
What is something that surprised you?
I'm very surprised by what seems to be the exponential growth of the group. I thought it would be more systematic, like a few people here and there. It seems like every week more people join. And I think that has something to do with, great quality content from the people who do the lives here and the great content that people continue to post. But I also think it has to do with how Facebook favors popularity. If it's unfortunate because if it's always that YouTube thing. Like if you weren't in the beginning of Instagram, it's hard to get popular now.
Right.
And that's why being first on a platform is really valuable because you are there before the rules and the constraints of the algorithm are implemented.
Heather doesn't read the entry questions that come in because I said I'm very nosy and I would like to take that on as my own project. But a lot of you guys have been awesome about inviting other people, and I can see it'll be like so and so invited me, another member, my mom, someone in the group. I saw it in a comment section of another cookie group. So
that's been our number one source of leads.
Yeah, I appreciate that more than words can describe, how you guys are looking out for other people. And Heather and I look at you guys like your family. So what we tell you is something we do for our own clients and our own selves when it's marketing. So we're never going to try to lead you astray because if we wouldn't do it, we're not going to say it. So that you guys gave us the trust, that your family members are joining and that you guys are listening, and it's super encouraging to us. I know me and Heather talk about your guys' wins all the time.
Over lunch.
Yeah, over lunch. So that has honestly just been like the light of my life this past year, to see other people inviting other people because they want them to grow and to benefit and to not burn out and leave the industry.
Yeah, I've had a lot more fun in this group than I have in my day job. No offense to my day job.
Rude. I'm your day job.
A lot more fun with her. And I know that, you see the group is dramatic and then that, posts are constantly getting deleted and threads locked, but that's just a part of the job. Mm-hmm. That's a part of keeping a healthy group. And so I have no apologies about, deleting threads and locking threads. It's just a part of keeping a group healthy. And, you got family members, crazy cousins, and they're still invited to the family reunion. Yeah. And if they're not, then you boot them from the group. Not just kidding. That's what happens.
But we honestly would not be here if it weren't for you guys. Seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, we're so thankful to each and every one of you who gives us the time, who encourages others and helps others. Because eventually me and Heather do have to go to bed sometimes. So those folks that pick up the slack when we're catching some Z's, you guys make Sugar Cookie Marketing. Me and Heather are just literally the gatekeeper to it. It's not our group, it's your guys' group. And we're just excited that we've been able to be a part of it.
I know the Cookie College people, those are the people that are actually keeping this going, because without their money, obviously this would be a labor of love. Endless cavern of money sink. But another thing is the people listening to the podcast, your listenership allows us to get the sponsors that keep this podcast going. And right now the podcast is covering all the day-to-day operating cost of kind of the group and everything. Yeah. So thanks, even just listening here, even if you didn't give us a red cent, you still are supporting the cause. And it's your listenership that we can turn around to a sponsor and say, hey, look, listen to all these amazing bakers that are
Can I
listening.
ask for something for my birthday?
Okay. It's for the group's birthday?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are listening on Apple Podcast, iTunes, Can you leave us a 5-star review? If you hate this podcast, please don't. But if you are,
if you hate this podcast, leave us a 5-star review, but in the comments. So they hate it.
Yeah, there you go. But it does help us because of iTunes. The way its ranking system is, the more 5-star reviews you can get, the more it spreads the news. So if you would be so kind, that would literally make my entire day.
Yeah, each podcast we get a recap each week of how much listenership we get. So that's over every podcast episode, not just the last one. I can't see that data, but that's not the email that we get. So 5,000 of you listen to us each week. Bless your souls.
Poor guys.
I know you've been really into my head cold, which I think I'm on finally.
I know. I'm like surprised I have not caught it yet. Thank you for my flu shot.
My sinuses are like, that looks like a new virus headed on this way. That's all great.
So thank you. I appreciate you. If you're tuning in for the first time, sorry, we should have done this part a little bit more at the beginning. But you have tuned in to Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing, and this is a podcast that's weekly. We hopefully drop them on Tuesdays. Sometimes Heather gets tickets. Sometimes I don't show up to work.
I have to go to court next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday? Podcast will be a little delayed. But Heather, if someone's just tuning in for the first time, what are they in for?
Obviously, aside from Corrie's love letter she just wrote you guys, what we do is we kind of start this intro, just a recap of what we honestly just want to waste your time in the beginning of this. Then we go to the marketing minutes, which are kind of more marketing focused tips and tricks that either we've seen or we've seen people talk about. Business of Baking is more of the business mindset shift that helps you kind of brace yourself. You know, we're no longer on the consumer end, we are on the seller end, and that's a whole different ballgame. That's what we like to cover in that one. Then we have launched the Cookie College, thecookie-college.com if you want to check that out. We cover one of the courses that we have recently taught, which Corrie actually filmed one live this morning. Then we go to voicemails and text. That's you guys asking us questions, which I love to read. Group stuff covers upcoming lives and collabs and things and meetings and stuff. Twinterests, I don't think I have any of this one. And then sponsors, who are the awesome sponsors to keep us going. And the mailbag, which I know one of you is listening. Week. I didn't get to the mailbox because I'm dying of this head cold, but I will go this week.
Maybe I'll go tomorrow.
I'll speed down there and get another speeding ticket just for you.
Okay, well, thank you for tuning in. And that brings us to the marketing minutes. In the marketing minutes today, I want to talk about the Main Street Marketing Cookie Collab.
Absolutely killed. Everyone did phenomenally.
Okay, so if you're new to what a collab is, if you're just tuning in for the first time, collabs happen within industries, and it's where a group of people within an industry choose a topic to create something about, whether it's a cause, whether it is just a design,
like a challenge.
One time I did one for cats, so you had to make something that dealt with cats, but that's what a collab is. It's a collaboration of a bunch of people within your industry to highlight something, and it literally can be anything, and collabs happen literally all the time. If you are searching for one, you can find it. I think you can look up the hashtag cookie collab if you're wanting to on Instagram, and you can find something to be a part of. And they're super easy to be a part of. Most of them are open to everybody. So you just email whoever, or you message whoever is setting it up, and then you say, hey, can I be a part of it? And then they'll give you the details, and it'll be like, we're posting Friday, 12 p.m., use this hashtag, and then that's kind of how it works.
So how do we manage ours through the group?
So our group is a little bit,
because I set them up,
bigger. Our group is a little bit bigger, so we have a lot more people participating in these collabs. So Heather usually creates an event within the Sugar Cookie Marketing group, and then she creates a link that you can sign up with. And what that sign up does, we tried the collab on Facebook and Instagram once, and that was very hard to officiate. So now we've just moved it to Instagram, but it asks for your name, your email.
Name, email, Instagram handle.
Yeah. So you could either go through Heather's document, or you could just look up the hashtag on Instagram. It's whatever's easier for you. And then we choose a theme, we choose a day, and then everyone posts at the same time. And then we go and give engagement to other people who participate in the collab. What this does is it builds up your content, but also builds up your reach. So if
it is manufactured engagement. It's called Engagement Pod, but it's done in an ethically unethical way, because the engagement is not organic. It's not natural. It is manufactured, but it's awesome because we force people to write more than just like neat.
Yeah. So it's every single aspect of marketing wrapped up into one pretty package. The ones we've done in the past, we did a then and now, where you recreated a cookie you made back at the beginning of your journey and you recreate it now. Some people did cakes. It was whatever you had started with, you recreated it for now. So I did an ugly heart named him Bob, recreated him. He's super cute now. Thank goodness I
Oh, yeah,
learned
that was a
something.
fun one. We did a logo.
We did a logo collab where you recreated your own logo. That was so nice. So it put you back in front of your audience. A lot of people did selfies with their cookies, and they were able to reintroduce themselves and showcase their business.
Okay, now you want to talk about this one we just did. Okay.
So now all that to say, we just did our Main Street Marketing Collab, and Lydia had posted about her journey through Main Street. And we said that is a fantastic idea when it comes to marketing. So what Lydia does was she went down Main Street and she cookified main things in her town that were very recognizable that she wanted to bring more attention to. So we said, hey, let's make a collab out of that. And you could choose something in your town, a restaurant, a sign, a cause. Some people did. It was up to you, and you made it into a baked form. So Heather and I chose Claire's at the Depot. Heather really wanted to eat there, and she needed an excuse to drive out to Warrenton. So I cookified her logo, and then we took a picture right outside her building, right in front of where her logo is on the building. Of course, it created quite the ruckus because you know me, and I cannot just have one photo. And then Heather was like so annoying to work with. She's like, move up, move down, it's too slanted. It did create a ruckus, and guess who came out and said, what are you guys doing? It was the lady who's run the building for the last 27 years. It wasn't Claire because she was out for the day, but it was her bestie, Donna.
At the Depot.
Donna at the Depot. She was a firecracker. And she said, oh my goodness, that's so amazing. I said, hey, are you okay that we're taking this photo? We're going to highlight you in one of my Facebook posts. And she's like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. No, please do, please do. Come in and talk to me when you guys come and find a seat for lunch. So me and Heather spent the next 30 minutes trying to get that perfect photo.
A lot of arguing. It caused a lot of commotion, but
a lot of people came out to see this cookie and see why it was being taken a photo of. So when we came back in, Donna ended up coming up and she said, hey, do you mind if I get your information? And I said, absolutely. And she said, I just wondered if maybe you could help us create some unique gifts for our employees for Christmas.
And she wanted to give out some to the clients.
And she wanted to give some, and she's like, it could be a
been
very big
They've been
order.
open for 30 years, so.
Yeah, I mean, a great place to do that spot.
17 years in that location.
17 years. And then they had been cooking up a storm before
Right.
that.
And Donna had been there for over 20 years. And then the chef, her name was Anna. And she came out. She had been there for 17 years.
Yeah. So they all came out to see the cookie. And then I was able to give my information to Donna for a corporate order for Christmas.
Yeah, but so you got great content. One, I think a lot of people resonated with the post from your end user said, oh yeah, I love Claire's at the Depot. It is a fan favorite around here. And if you ever ask for a place to go in Warrenton, that's what people are talking about. So.
And it was delicious. So we ate there. Highly recommend the creme brulee.
Creme brulee. Oh, I would go back, but it was an hour drive.
Yeah. So that honestly was fantastic. Then we were able to go through every single person's post that participated.
Which I think we had over 130 in this one.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, I was blown away.
Everyone did really awesome. And the businesses that were tagged, okay, businesses, small businesses, they are busy. But for the businesses who turned around and reblogged, that was awesome. But I think a lot of people saw most of their benefit from actually going to the business to take that photo.
Yes. And I think that face-to-face, being able to meet somebody, to put a face to the name, honestly did.
One of the members, she was like, yeah, I posted, she had done this perfectly outlined hamburger.
Yeah.
And she goes to the group and she's like, best collab ever. The company placed an order for 300 of these.
Amazing. So this collab had so many marketing elements to it. One, you showcased a local business right where you are. That tells your audience, hey, I'm local. Hey, we eat at the same places. Hey, I am where you am. Where you am. Where you is.
Where you is.
So that was I have a headache. It's above my left eye and it's moving over to the right one. That was an awesome aspect of this. Plus, if you wanted to, a lot of people got permission from other companies that they made the logo for. That created that first initial conversation.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, well, how would I reach out to get a corporate order? Hey, can I cookify your logo is so awesome for all parties involved. It's not a sales post. It's giving something back to that company.
Right.
But it allows you to open the door. So I think you're going to start implementing this as like some regular thing, aren't you?
If I can cookie their logo, that would be great. Right now, I'm showcasing places around the area too, because I don't have that much time to make everything into a cookie.
Must be
But I
nice.
did make an extra cookie for the owner, and I boxed it up.
Because we had our
real nice.
hand all over that.
Yeah, I was touching the other one, like, and Heather's like, move your finger, and like my hand was turning black.
You
their
like
logo
Corey was like
black.
white knuckling the cookie, like, whoa, you seem way too intense, man.
So I made her one that I had not touched, like manhandled, and I was able to gift that to her as a hopefully lasting impression. Granted, that cookie was as black could be.
Could you
know
imagine
what black
eating it?
icing does to someone's mouth.
Teeth. I hope
At least
they
we
have
would
that.
know she ate the cookie. Wow,
You ate it all yourself. No, nobody else had it.
So I thought it was fantastic. If you missed this marketing collab, do not let that stop you. Your client's not going to know that the collab is over. So if you want to and you want to use that copy to post it, say, hey, I was part of this Main Street Cookie Collab, and you
We actually
highlight my
wrote
favorite.
the copy for them. If you go to the Main Street Cookie Collab Facebook events in the events tab on the group, I wrote a version of the copy, and Corey wrote a version of the copy that you just tweak with the business's information, and it's really nice. It's like I can tell when people used that copy, it was very easy for me to reply as an end user to be like, oh, creme brulee, I love that, things like that.
Yeah, so we talked about in the copy is talking about the Main Street Cookie Lab, like what's it about, and then you showcase that business. So you inserted something that you love. So I said, I have it on good note that the creme brulee is the most prized dessert there, but don't sleep on the key lime pie because rumor has it Claire's going to take it off the menu soon.
Yeah.
So it gave somebody something to read off of. So a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, I love creme brulee. Oh, say no more about the key lime pie. It was a fantastic collab. I was super excited about it.
Really well done. That was a great idea, Lydia. Thanks for that. And so moving on, the business of baking, I want to talk about a concept that I see happen a lot in the group and in our personal lives. The word is validation. I read a book earlier this year called Nonviolent Communication. The Language of Life. I don't know. It was an interesting audiobook. Obviously, I don't actually read anything. I just listen. But the author, uses this phrase, don't put your butts in angry people's faces. And I think about that constantly. So, Corey, I want you to complain about something to me about me. Something dealing with me like, hey, I don't like how you did this.
Okay. Heather, I don't like the fact that you always have the need to be right, even when you're mostly wrong.
Okay, I understand that, but
You're wrong!
right. So it doesn't matter what I say before the word but. The but invalidates everything I just said. So I might as well not have said that. So now
You might
let's-
have just skipped over that first
yeah.
part.
So now let's do it. And I'm not going to use the but I'm also going to put nothing before it.
Okay. Heather, I hate that you're always trying to be right when you're always wrong.
You got to understand that I do a lot of research, so I'm right.
Now you're very wrong.
Right. So you see there, like it's really confrontational, but understand that when you add the word but in, that's all your client hears, or your husband or your wife or your kids or your twin sister. It's that when you put your but in angry people's faces, they get more angry. So for an example, one of the members, I'll let them remain anonymous, had done everything by the book. Everything was correct with this one client. The client was just one of those crazies who just is unpleasable.
Yes.
Client turns back around and says, hey, you know what? I'm not happy with you. I know you said you did everything right, but you didn't. And I'm going to leave a bad review. And that's what the text essentially said is like, I will be leaving you a bad review because I don't think this is fair, that blah, blah, blah. Even though I didn't refrigerate it and it melted, that's not my fault. Okay. So now what was the member to do?
This was so tricky because she really did give the care instructions and like said, this needs to be immediately refrigerated.
So now imagine the member says, thanks so much for your feedback, but I gave you the care instructions. Now let's do that again. I'm not really happy. I don't think it was fair that the cake melted, blah, blah, blah. I gave you the care instructions. Now what does the other person have to do? They have to defend themselves.
myself. Well, you gave
Yes.
it to me like maybe 5 weeks ago when we first talked, and I forgot because I deleted your messages.
Right. When you put your butt in angry people's faces, you escalate. There is no other option. You've told a crazy person they're crazy, and now they've just gotten crazier. So validation is the opposite of putting the butt in angry people's faces. Now, let's pretend you come to me and you have a gripe. Don't say it like, just do it like a bakery gripe.
The cookies were tasty, but they did the colors bled a little bit. The eyes looked like they were
red. Thank you so much. I completely understand that would totally have ruined the entire set. I really appreciate you bringing it up to me.
Give me my money.
Just kidding. Corrie.
Okay, no, okay. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I didn't know if it was something that like happened a lot or if it was just one-off, but the cookies were absolutely delicious. Everyone ate them up. It really, honestly, was the tip at the top of the party.
Your feedback is really awesome. I know that I encourage people to keep them stored in a certain way. Is there anything I can do to rectify the situation with you?
No, now that you actually brought that up, I actually did store them on the surface of the sun, so it makes sense.
You know what? Great point. I'm glad you brought this up to me. I'll make sure moving forward that it's really clear to people how they need to store these so that it doesn't cause that bleeding. And I really, again, just want to appreciate that you let me know this because that's something I want people now, you in the future, and everyone to be able to know how to care for these cookies.
Absolutely. Can't wait for my next order with you.
Okay, now I'm going to argue with you in the way that I actually wanted you to argue with me.
I love role playing. Do you want me to be tough on you?
You're going to be the baker.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey, I feel like some of the cookies arrived broken.
Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. Can I ask how many of the dozen arrived broken?
More than half, and it kind of ruined the party.
Holy crap. What was I doing wrong? Oh, that's so awesome.
Awesome.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, so you can see what Corey's struggling here is that she wants to refund me. Because that's an applicable response when something arrives broken. So I can say to, you can say, hey, listen, I let you know ahead of time. And it's each instance is really unique of how you want to handle it.
Yeah, before someone gives me grief on there, we can't ship in Virginia. So I've never had anything arrive broken because I don't ship anything.
Right. But I know Corey typically runs to the refund because it feels good for both parties. Now, well, you're not operating a charity, guys. Your next order, put it aside. The money you make from your next order, put it aside in an oopsie fund. That way, when these awkward conversations come up, you can be the first to recommend a refund and let the client make the decision. Another option other than a refund is to give them something free. That's a lot less cost to people because, we're only covering our labor costs. We're not factoring in our profit there.
Right.
So you say, hey, I'm so sorry. Can I give you 6 cookies on the house?
I have a situation that I had to deal with. Usually, technically, I can avoid an unhappy person. Way off in the distance, I can see it kind of coming. But she actually participated in my pre-sale of these many cookies. They were super tiny, and she missed it. She had something come up in her family.
But she had paid for them and just never showed up, never messaged, never emailed, never picked up.
Right, the day of, she ended up emailing and said something came up. I would love if you could hold on to my money for the next time you have this pre-sale, that I could just pick something up and pay the difference if it's more, or just get a couple extra cookies if it's less. I said, absolutely. Of course, I'm not running pre-sales all the time because I do a lot of customs. So she ended up emailing and said, hey, would it be okay if you just made me some random cookies and I just picked them up so we can call it even? Absolutely. I made her normal size cookies. So where she was expecting a ton of mini cookies.
The mini cookies are an inch and a half.
Yeah, they were tiny. Yeah. It translated to 5 normal size cookies. That was the math between the two. She came and picked up the cookies, and when she left, she said, hey, I'm confused why I only got 5 regular size cookies instead of 12 mini cookies like it last. Shouldn't I be getting more of these regular size cookies? And I said, hey, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. I should have been better at explaining what that conversion rate was from the minis to the normal size, but it works out inch per inch that you actually got the same amount of cookies as you did in the pre-sale option. If you'd be so kind, the next time you order, I'll throw in an extra 2 so that you feel that you got exactly what you paid for. She said, oh my goodness, please don't do that. You are going to be hearing a lot from me because I'm going to be placing more orders. So I validated her and I gave her an option you couldn't be mad with.
Yeah. Validation is really important in conflict management. If you're having an argument with your husband or wife and you invalidate them.
Stop talking about my husband.
You completely say that, hey, everything that you feel, which feelings, the way you feel is valid. Even if I disagree with the way you feel, I can't say that the way you feel is wrong. So to validate them, whether or not you agree with them, it says, so the husband says, hey, listen, I just kind of felt like you bit my head off a little bit back there. Well, you shouldn't have been an idiot. You've invalidated him. And now he either has to, scurry into the corner and hide from your anger, or he has to defend himself. So the other option, the healthier option, and definitely what's focused in that nonviolent communication book, is to validate the person. Hey, I really appreciate that. I didn't even realize I was doing it. I'm a little frustrated. Work was really hard today. I shouldn't take it out on you. But would you still mind taking out the trash? It would be a great help. So you validate the person. You still get what you wanted if it was taking out the trash or something like that, but you don't make anyone feel around. We are sacks of chemicals, the human body, and we're trying to constantly find the dopamine release, the reward chemical of the brain. And if any time that we're constantly hit with a cortisol, that stress hormone, we're going to find ourselves trying to distance ourselves from whatever that is. So if you wonder, why this friend's never reaching out to you, why you feel like they're distancing themselves, ask yourself, do I invalidate this person? Do I cause them a stress hormone and not that, endorphin release? Are they not feeling a happy feeling when they're around me? Let me reevaluate what I'm doing. And the best way to realize if you're the problem is to look around you and see if anyone's there. If no one's there, probably you.
It's you the problem.
People like to be around nice people. People like to order from nice bakers. If you don't have a lot of recurring orders, probably time to look through your workflow and see if anytime you're invalidating these people when they do have an issue with you, or they're not feeling very cared for, or that warm, fuzzy, this is baked with love feeling, just kind of look internally and always question, am I doing something that I can fix, that I can do better? And it's not a bad thing to do an internal audit of how you handle your relationships. It's a very, very healthy thing.
I was validated this morning with my son's school.
So Corey's son, Archer, weird kid,
Hey.
goes to a private school where they have a set uniform. I think it's just a collared shirt from Land's End and khaki pants, nothing real complicated. But when you go to order, obviously with the whole shipping cargo fiasco, it's back ordered from at least November 15th. You definitely cannot get this outfit. So you're dressing him in something pretty darn close.
I was in last year's uniform, so the colors had changed. It was still a uniform.
So Corey's son gets home. Yesterday, he's in a completely different outfit, something that's too baggy, and a note that says absolutely no exceptions. You have to follow the dress code.
So he got written up for not having the dress code on something that's out of stock.
Okay, so clearly, Corey calls me absolutely irate. I'd like to stress to everyone I do not have kids. I do not know what they do. So Corey says, I'm so frustrated, they singled him out. They made him change his clothes. I don't even know if these clothes have been washed. They're clearly used. And now they send him a demerit slip with in all caps, no exceptions for something that has to be an exception. There is no other option. I'm so frustrated.
Right.
So you send, so I said, Corey, purchase the new clothes and send them the copy, the back order receipt. So Corey says, here's the back order receipt. Please do not change my son's clothes without contacting me first. Completely fair. Obviously, you were really frustrated. Your email wasn't kind. It wasn't angry. It was a lack of emotion, which I think is kind of the best approach sometimes.
Just a matter of fact.
Matter of fact. Here's the facts. This is what it is moving forward. So I think you were ready for a fight this morning.
I felt like they were going to say, we sent these clothes home with you. How dare you not be grateful for them?
And what happened?
I got an email from, bless her soul, Kathy, I love you, from the school secretary, and she said, Miss Miracle, I am so sorry. We did not know it was on back order. Thank you for bringing that to light. It will not show up on his record. Continue to have him wear his old uniform, and we will not redress him in another uniform. Thank you so much. Here's also the contact information to the vice principal if you'd want to talk to him.
And accept our sincerest apologies.
Yes.
At no point did Kathy invalidate. Yeah, absolutely. Corey's little huffy puffy train done. Put the brakes on, and you ended up. What did you say back?
I said, Kathy, bless your dear soul. I said, I am so sorry that you are the gatekeeper and you have to deal with everyone and their mother. And I'm sorry that I started your day on less than a high note. But I appreciate what you do for the school. I appreciate your response, and know that we will comply with the dress code upon receiving the school uniform.
So look at what happened. Kathy validated Corey. And in validating Corey, Kathy never put her butt in angry people's faces. And for Corey, it changed the conversation completely. Where Corey was kind of irate with this very curt, matter-of-fact email, now I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. That was how that changed. And I know that we're often taught, hey, never be wrong, never admit defeat, never apologize. I'd like to challenge you with accept that we could be wrong, apologize where necessary, and validate the people around you. If people are willing to come up to you and tell you, hey, there's a little issue between us, it's because they care and they're trying to maintain this relationship. The people who don't care are the people you never hear from again. They had, hey, whatever, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm cutting my losses. Now, the people who have the ability to turn around and say, hey, this is a conversation that's really awkward for the both of us. I'm trying to have it with you. It's because they care. Even though at that time you feel attacked and you feel vulnerable, consider that this person is trying to save and maintain this relationship with you and validate how they feel. See if you guys can come to a compromise, which doesn't mean that they're 100% right. It means that they're right and you're right, and there's a place in between there that both of you can both be right at the same time.
One time, random story, went to DSW to get my nails done back when they put those things in DSW.
That one day.
That one time. But the lady...
DSW, if you didn't know, Designer Shoe Warehouse, just had a great idea to put a nail salon in one of the DSWs here. I think it was kind of their pilot program. It was a really cute salon in the back where like the shoe sale section is.
Of course, when the coronavirus happened, it ended up closing down. But it was fantastic while I was there. But I went upon one of their opening times, and the lady who did my nails, they all came off when I left the building. It just peeled off. I don't know. But I hate confrontation. I literally avoid it with all my passion. So I just emailed the corporate office to say, hey, I don't want to bring anything up. I just would like my money back. Here's the photos of what happened to the nails less than 24 hours. I just want my money back and then never to return. I ended up getting a phone call from the head lady at that DSW's nail place, and she said, Corrie, we will give you your money back, or if you come in, I will physically redo your nails free of charge. I am so sorry that this is the experience you had. Please give us one more opportunity. Of course, that was, I had both options, so I went back in. It was fantastic.
Did you leave them a bad review?
No, I think I left him a 5-star review.
Right. So to resolve the member conflict with the lady who said, I will be leaving you a bad review, she goes to the cookie college and says, what should I do here? Okay, you know what? The answer is you validate. And, the member said, well, I did everything right. Okay, you validate. So what we ended up coming with is thank you so much for the feedback. And I appreciate the heads up that you're going to leave me this review. Letting me know that this was really frustrating for you. It helps me prepare for other people in the future. And I'll do my best to make sure that it's very apparent on how you have to store this cake. Again, sorry for the inconvenience, and I appreciate the heads up. The lady replied, well, it just, you can see blah, blah, blah. Guess what? She never left the review.
She never did.
She never did. Whether she ever orders from, that's not the problem. It's the validation to an angry person completely turns a conversation around.
Exactly.
If you find yourself constantly in a state of putting up armor, you're in a defensive position. Set down the armor and ask a person, hey, I appreciate that you took the time out of your day to come to me with your issue. Let's see if we can find a common ground. And it's not, hey, no, you're wrong. Hey, stop. It's not that angry. And it makes sense, because we don't want people to find our sore spots.
I always think of an argument like that we're on opposite sides of a sinkhole. And how can we build a bridge to bring us closer together to overcome this sinkhole together?
Because I don't think either of you wants to fall in it.
No one wants to fall into it, but it seems like the more and more angry you get, the bigger the sinkhole gets. Yeah. And then that fruition, that coming together seems harder and harder to see when we get farther and farther apart.
After a couple of those emails, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're too far apart to ever see eye to eye again. You have a couple opportunities at the very beginning of a confrontation to seam that up and build that bridge. So I'd like you to look back at your orders, and if you realize a lot of your orders are ending in confrontation, or any order that's gone wrong doesn't end in like oh, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, no sweat. Can I help you? Oh, no, I'm fine. I just want to let you know. If that's not the common phrase that happens when orders go wrong, it's time to sit down and reevaluate how you handle conflict management.
It's an art.
It's an art form. It's really hard to set your emotions aside and see it platonically. From a business mindset, the business mindset doesn't take personal offense.
That's why our clients for a marketing agency will email us and ask us, can you please write this rebuttal to this 1-star review or this non-recommendation? Heather and I don't have emotion built into those business like the business owner does. So we're able to see it objectively from a standpoint of marketing, like what needs to be responded that, one, allows this person to be heard, but two, also doesn't make the business look like they have no idea what they're doing.
Right. I had a client, one of our clients wrote a very, very contentious reply to a bad review. Basically, the review is like he wasn't allowed to bring his dog in the store. Okay. When he was asked to remove his dog from the store, he leaves a bad review saying, I feel like I was singled out. Okay.
And then he said there was 1 million dogs in the store and only his was asked to leave.
Okay. So the business, there was no blah, blah, blah. Very confrontational escalation at every aspect. At no point was the dog owner validated. Should the dog have been allowed in the store? No, there's food being sold in that store. Unless it's a dog that helps you. A service dog. There's
a sign on the door that says no pets, service animals are allowed.
Right. So we went back. The client said, hey, I think I made a mistake. I replied to him like this. Went back, deleted his reply and said, thank you so much. Appreciate the feedback. Definitely our fault. If you didn't see the service sign, that was our mistake. So we're going to put it more prominently displayed. That said, love your dog. Super cute. Thanks for posting a photo of him in the review.
Yeah, what's a dog over there?
He's cute. And things like that. And it just takes the wind out of people's sails. If you escalate on one review reply, they will find another profile to leave you another review on.
And guys, will they always remove your bad review? No. But the way you reply is you are no longer just speaking to them, but you're speaking to anyone reviewing your company, considering it as an option. Those are the folks you're talking to. Do you seem like you are just a firecracker ready to go off on somebody? People will read that. They will sense that and say, wow, if I have an issue with my order, that is not something I want coming at me. So the way you reply is actually more for those that are going to discover you in the future. And that's why those responses are so important. You're not just talking to one person. It's on the World Wide Web. So many people are going to read it. I know when I look up reviews, I click, instead of clicking 5-star, I click 1-star. Let me see what's bad first, and then I'll go to what's good first.
And I like to see, the reviews. We poll the group once a quarter just to keep people in line, at their mind set in the correct way. How many refunds have you done in the last year outside of COVID?
And it was like a solid maybe 1 tops.
Yeah. So I think over 75, maybe say 80% of the group has refunded only 0 to 1 order. So people, I'll be honest, they're not trying to get one over on you. They're just not. So.
I just can't imagine that someone who physically orders from you is like, yeah, I'm going to boom one over on this person. I mean, those people are out there.
And let's say you find one. Let's say you find the one. You know what? Refund them and blacklist them. It's it. It's not the hill you want to die on. Your pockets aren't deep enough and your days are not long enough that you can fight every person that you feel like is doing this to get one. Hey, it all shakes out. Karma finds them eventually. It'll shake out. So, validation. That's my big takeaway. I would love to challenge everyone here.
Be a Kathy.
Be a Kathy and validate. If somebody comes to you with an issue, even if they have their dukes up and they're ready to fight, say, oh, absolutely, I appreciate it. I absolutely know why you have your boxing gloves on. It makes complete sense from your standpoint. Can we talk about it?
And a lot of people come with their dukes up ready to fight when they don't know the extent of everything. I know the little part of the story that I know, and I don't like it. So putting my dukes up, leave my kid in its clothes.
Yeah, see if you can give more context and see if that changes the perspective. If not, refund.
Right.
But don't put your butts in angry people's faces. Okay, moving on. The Cookie College is, of course, we actually have quite a few seats opening up at the beginning of, what's the next month?
November.
So if you want to check that out, you can go to thecookiecollege.com/membership.
Are you opening it too?
We have about 10 seats opening if 10 people would like
to
join.
I tried to ask her for 25, so I'm going to vie for you if you would like to do that.
If you're listening to the podcast, it's something you want. It's $68 a month. You can sign on anytime, cancel anytime. You can get a prorated refund. If you buy the year up front, it's 2 months free. But we also have offered something I really like. It's a digital downloads package. It's only the digital downloads aspect of the Cookie College. You get 12 posts each month. I build them myself and I import them into Canva, so it's really easy to change the text and add your own photos. I walk you through how to do it, and each month you get a little package of that for $10 a month. So you can also sign up for that at thecookiecollege.com/membership. Just choose digital downloads.
And the November course that I will be creating is about pre-sales. for DIY kits. Heather and I just pulled in about $600 in the last week with our DIY kits. So I'm going to
bake them all on Thursday.
I love making the money, but I hate making the things.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So we'll be covering that in the month of November. Plus, if I
what did you teach today?
Oh, today, if you guys saw those
just so you know, the Cookie College also includes some bake-alongs. Yeah, I know it's mostly about marketing, but hey, it's kind of fun to learn new techniques and stuff. So Corrie's takes us through one bake-along each month, and this month was pretty cool.
So if you saw, I did this hibiscus Hawaiian flour cookie, and a lot of people seem to like it, and that's because it had a lot of movement to it. So I take everyone step by step and how to get the consistency and make it keep its form so you can have that movement instead of that super stiff icing. So I hope that was good. We used Heather's little new camera thing, so it was actually live, and I don't do lives all that much because I can't think of my words fast enough, as you can see on this podcast.
Yeah, we got a live camera. It's the IPEVO. I don't know how you pronounce it. IPEVO, the IPEVO. But it was, the quality, maybe not my favorite. I think I got to change some settings. I think Facebook might use the lowest setting. And this has a high resolution camera, so I'm going to say user error on this one.
Okay.
But it was really easy. It films overhead, but you can reverse the direction. So meaning that the camera's out of Corrie's way, but it's still filmed in the right orientation.
Yeah, so it was straight overhead, but it wasn't in my way. So I could still look at what I was doing. My hands were free and fancy, and there wasn't a giant cell phone blocking the light, one, and two, my eyes.
And it has, that was the one thing. We have the $300 one. They have a $200 one and a $100 one.
You said it was
I lied.
two. Oh my goodness.
I just wanted the audio.
And it looked like that on the thing?
I have it set up wrong.
Girl, you better
but the $300 one includes external audio and also operates off of a battery and has Wi-Fi connectivity to a computer.
You have to do a better sales job than that.
Well, we already bought it, so it sounds like it is.
You better be using it. You better start baking your little videos.
Well, we actually have to, we are teaching a class on Saturday, and we have 2 people attending the class virtually. So this will be our first time doing this.
Heather's so oddly confident in this, but I just...
All you have to do is decorate in front of them like you do. I have to do a dry run on Friday. Make sure
I need the the cutter says. Okay, got it.
Okay, so that takes us through the Cookie College. Again, 10 seats are open. If you're listening and you're interested, you can check out a preview of some of the classes and see what's in the membership. I think we have over 30, 40 courses at this point, and we add something new every week. Every Monday, I take people through a mini-series. Right now, we're both in building out a MailChimp account and SEO 101.
Yeah.
So then you're doing what?
I'm going to do classes if I can ever go live, like an in-depth who, what, when, where, why of in-person classes.
Don't we already have that?
Yeah, but I wanted to dive a little deeper.
Okay, great. I like it. Okay, now to voicemails, we have 3 texts. The first one is from Dana. Hi, ladies. I'm Dana. I just have a quick question. I am a new baker, and I'm just starting to get my name out there. There's a local craft show in my area coming up in December that I'm very interested in signing up for as a vendor. However, I just saw another decorated sugar cookie vendor will be there. I think the show has 200 vendors total. I just want to know if you think it's worth it for me, or should I sit this one out since another cookier will be there? Thanks so much. I'm obsessed with the podcast. Dana, thank you so much for texting in, because without you, this section is weird. But great question. 200 vendors, I wouldn't sweat that there's another decorator.
No, I think that would be fantastic to have another decorator there. So you guys could refer people to each other. As you run out, you can send them their way, and then you can go and you can introduce yourself. This is community over competition. You two can be each other's strongholds within your local industry. Because I know when I am booked, guess what I do? I refer them to somebody.
People, of course, clients who, if she can't take them on and she has to say if she's booked, they don't want to be told no. So Corrie's, instead of telling them no, she says, hey, I can't take you, but here's 5 people who can. Here's 3 people who can. Here's somebody I know that's really good at this type of set.
So will they always come back to me? Absolutely not. I've referred them to someone I absolutely love. So please go give them your money. But it makes me look good because I don't leave them empty-handed. Plus, I am investing back into the industry, because when someone buys from a small business baker, they become a business believer, and that's what we want to do. I never want them to go to the grocery store because I said no. I want them to.
You've lost someone from the industry.
Yeah, they're now shopping big chain stores, but I would love to keep them in our industry and be able to show the love, and they can invest in someone right down the road.
Yeah, I assume in an area that has enough vendors, 200 vendors, you must be dealing with a lot of people where you live. So I wouldn't sweat. You're never going to tap out your market. You're just never going to do it. So having somebody else there, like, hey, maybe I wouldn't want to be set up directly next to him. But a 200 vendor expo, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to want to partake
You will
in that.
clean up there.
It's not about trying to always be by yourself and never having a competitor nearby. It's just about marketing better. Having a better booth setup, having a better display setup. And a lot of those tips we talk about in the group. And we had Christina. She's a local baker. We sell to the same audience. Granted, she's in Warrenton, but she took our cookie class so that she could go teach cookie classes in Warrenton. I guarantee you nobody in Warrenton is making an hour drive to take our class.
Someone
except for her.
A 3-hour drive from Virginia Beach.
I know,
But I
it's
said, girl,
stressful.
you got to find someone closer to you.
Yeah.
We're not that good.
I think Sharon in the group's trying to open them up in Charlottesville.
Oh, good.
No, so she's from North Carolina. I thought it was Charlottesville, Virginia. So yeah, definitely would sign up for that. I think it's an awesome way to get your name out there, and like we said, community over competition, because there's enough work out there for all of us.
We eat multiple times a day. I've watched Heather. It's disgusting.
I love it. Voicemail 2 is a text from the 281, which is Houston, Texas.
Houston.
Hi, ladies. Just a reminder, check the mailbox. Might be something in there that wasn't there before.
Is that an angry face in it?
Yeah, because I think she sent it a week ago.
Oh my!
Yeah,
Yes,
that was
probably
like
like
packaging
if it's like a
supplies.
cookie, it's just getting older and older and
I know.
older.
You happen to live 3 minutes from the post office. I live about 40.
I
Just
travel
throwing it out
40
there
minutes every
to
day
the
to
post
get here. Okay, voicemail number 3. It says call, but I guess it's a
Sorry,
text.
it's a text.
801, which is Salt Lake City. My number originates in Utah, but I'm actually in St. Louis, Missouri area. I just wanted to thank you both for the podcast. I've learned so much that I'm even helping others. Some honey vendors at a farmer's market I've been going for the past few years were starting to harass another vendor about his pricing. I just had to intervene and tell them what I've learned here. The one doing the harassing broke out in tears because she felt so bad but grateful for the words of wisdom. Thanks again for making marketing and business so easy to understand and accessible. My heart.
Right. That's a great one. A lot of times, back to the original text, is that we're taught that competition is evil, wrong, bad, less than, when they're really just us's. They're just us over there.
They're the same person that's trying to pay for ballet dances for their 5-year-old is the same person that we are. So actually all my competition is in the group. I'm like, hey girl, come into my group.
I see them constantly, like when you get the threads in the community groups, hey, I'm looking for a sugar cookie decorator. We all tag ourselves.
We all tag ourselves.
And it's absolutely fine.
When they tag their business, like there's this group, and on Saturdays you can post just a thread about your own small business. I do not mind to give them a comment that says these are amazing, because one, it helps them do better in the algorithms, and two, they're doing the same. We're all trying to live a life.
Right.
So it's not taking anything away from me to leave a comment on their page. That's what this industry is about, and that's what so many people do well in this industry is supporting each other.
It's a really interesting thing. Car dealerships are all next to each other.
They are.
It's because the target demographic functions really well when they can see all the options right in front of them. Mm-hmm. But the guy who's shopping for the Mercedes isn't going to turn around and necessarily buy a Toyota, and Toyota and Mercedes are both completely fine with that. Toyota has its price point and its benefits and its detractors, and Mercedes has the same. And your target demographic is going to be different, and they're going to want different things. And that's not to say that somebody won't buy a Toyota today, a Mercedes tomorrow, and then be back in a Sienna the next day. It's just, there's just enough. There's a billion cars on the road. Everyone's buying them. They're buying more. They're switching brands.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of work out there. So that concludes our voicemails, which were all texts, which are awesome. If you want to text in, you can do 571-556-5644, or you can call that number and leave a voicemail. We have some emails we need to go through. We'll probably hit those up next week.
Okay.
After speeding ticket class.
Yeah. Email is hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com. I am looking forward to next week because we have so much baking to do this week that I'm just almost ready for next week.
Okay, because I'm going out of town on Wednesday.
Thank God. I get days off? How are we going to do the podcast if you're...
Tuesday.
But you'll be in court.
It's at 8:30. Technically, the lawyer's supposed to do it, and he hasn't emailed me.
I cannot wait to hear how this goes.
Okay, so group stuff. The past lives that were covered this week. Actually, I made a post in the group yesterday asking people to volunteer for lives, and we've had about 10.
Many people volunteer.
Yeah, so many awesome ones. I know that the group is very focused on marketing, but we do open the door a little bit for Facebook Lives to be about baking and using airbrushes and bake-alongs and things like that.
Yeah, someone did airbrush, someone did stencil. We've done two macaron lives, another macaron lives coming up, some weird cookie that people were making yesterday, which I still can't remember the name, but it was very pretty. But apparently the ingredients are obscure.
And there's a lot of Facebook Lives on marketing. So talking about Canva, Avery labels, and things like that. Fressie and her bows. Somebody signed up to teach a class on making cookie decorating videos coming up.
We did one on teaching in-person classes a while back.
Yeah, so all of those are in an awesome list that is
accessible to you.
Yeah. We finished up this week the Main Street Cookie Collab. We have another idea in the works I'm going to talk about in a second. Biscotti Bake-Along with Jessica Forrester. That was great. She really taught. She was really organized.
What people made, and they really honestly look like biscottis.
Yeah, if you're looking to add biscottis or just want to make them for your Saturday morning coffee.
I have to figure out how to make them because I would love to know how to do it.
Live.
I know. I can't tune into lives while they're actually live because Facebook won't let me till December 6th, but I can tune in after.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. And then Cake Pop Cones Bake Along with Meredith Martin was last week as well.
I can't wait to do cake
pops.
Okay,
upcoming events, we have Lawyer Baker AMA with Tammy Browning-Smith. Tammy Browning-Smith is a baker, and she is also a lawyer. She is going through everyone's questions, and she is going to answer them on Thursday, October 21st at 8 p.m. After that, we have the macaron making Swiss method. Method. No kid interruptions, part 2 with the Martins. So they have already covered this once. Their kids were involved. And now I'm not sure what they did with the kids.
They said someone's watching the kids. And I will be honest. I followed the first one to the T, and it has made me this macaron connoisseur.
Right. Is it really? So yeah, James and Meredith, they're both chefs in their own right, I think. James is a professionally trained chef. Meredith is a pastry type chef. I don't know. Their powers combined, they make a ton of stuff. Yeah. And they're both like hustlers in the group and in life. They sell they move a ton of product.
If it could be baked, they've probably sold it.
Right. So they're teaching us how to do that too. And then after that, we actually have a ton of lives I got to go through and add. I haven't even looked at the list yet, but we have last minute online flash sales with Vita, Carol.
I like calling Carol.
Okay. That'll be Thursday, October 28th. Flash sale is like, hey, I didn't sell everything for my pop-up, so I'm having a flash sale. She's going to tell us how she does it and how to market it best.
And those powers combined, a pop-up and then you sell what's left over in a flash sale is money in your pocket and not just products on your desk. So
yeah. Some group challenges and upcoming events. Sugar.social at Vanish Brewery. If you're in the DMV, which is DC, Maryland, Virginia area, Cookies is a business with Dottie. She's putting on this event at the Vanish Brewery in Leesburg on November 9th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's $20 to show up. And Corrie and I will be speaking on, you guessed it, community over competition.
Yeah, with all of our competition.
Yeah, which is great because Dottie teaches cookie classes. She actually teaches very advanced cookie classes. Yeah. And we teach cookie classes, and it all works. And all of us live in a house, and we're not living in a cardboard box. So it works really well for that. Now, here's our upcoming collab. We want to give everyone a time to get over Halloween and Thanksgiving, and then we want to mess up your Christmas. We thought it'd be a lot of fun. Corrie has a favorite waiter at our favorite restaurant. His name is Sean. He works at Seasons 52 and Tyson's, and you made him some cookies, but his face, his reaction to them were so awesome. And Corey's like, you've just been a great waiter. Yeah, we pay, we tip and everything, but he goes above and beyond, and she baked him this set, and he was absolutely ecstatic about it. So we're going to do the Meaning of Christmas collab, and that's featuring somebody in your life, whether they be a business, an employee, or family, friends. You bake for them a set that has something to do with them. Whether you want to make it Christmas themed is up to you, or something that's unique to them. Take a picture of them with that set and just write up what they mean to you. And I love reading the stories and the captions. I would love reading through these.
Yeah, so it's highlighting someone in your community, in your life, who's gone above and beyond, who has touched you, who maybe has not gotten that thank you in quite some time. And this is your time to showcase those people. And who doesn't love a free cookie now and then, right?
Who doesn't love being baked?
Yeah, so if you have a favorite cashier at the grocery store that, literally you always go to because they're a bright spot in your life, this would be the time that you would want to showcase them.
And I would like you to not be fearful, everybody wants to be thanked. Everyone wants a cookie. They'll be ecstatic about it. It's just really nice. It'd be so we wanted to focus on the meaning of Christmas is more of a gift giving thing and not a getting thing. So that will be a fun one. Okay, Twinterest, do you have anything interesting about you?
Do you have anything interesting?
I asked you first.
I'm trying to think real quickly.
Did you buy anything? You buy stuff constantly.
I do buy things constantly. I bought the new cookie countess boxes.
Oh, you did? The window ones?
Yeah.
Explain to everybody what you're talking
So
about.
Cookie Countess came out with these new boxes, and they were actually honestly pretty neat. But the way they fold is you can showcase cookies around the sides of boxes, but they'll stand end on end. They are not the cheapest things, though. But you can put the cookies around the side so people can actually see what they're getting, and then you can stand the middle ones right in the center. So it looked, if I could say, that it held, a dozen cookies, depending on what the design was. But when they come in, I'll let you know exactly what they hold, if they hold 12, 10, 8. But they also looked very cute for DIY kits. So you could put the cookies around the side and the ingredients like the icing bags and the scribe in the center.
That's a great idea, the DIY kit.
Yeah. She actually did a fantastic video for marketing where she's putting in, it was like movie night. So she put in Skittles in the center. Yeah, that was a great video.
Genius. Okay, Corrie gave me the green light and really digging in what Reels and TikToks and the marketing behind them. So I've made a couple purchases. The breakdown is a tripod from Manfrotto that has a boom attachment built into it. That means the tripod can be the natural, upright, but the boom head also can go overhead, which is great for cookie decorating videos or a different perspective. It's also, if you know anything about photography, it's on a ball head mount, which means I can go from completely vertical to a horizontal perspective. What am I? Ratio? No, what's the word? Orientation. And since TikToks and Reels are filmed in it. It's as cold as on its last leg that he's fighting. It's filmed in a vertical orientation. I wanted a tripod mount that I could just quickly attach the camera to film horizontally. Now, lighting is a big thing on TikTok. And we have a 3-point lighting system that I've had for years, but the lighting is really harsh. So introducing diffusers, and we found
my large pores were
we don't want that that nose shadow on half your face. So this diffuser breaks up the light. It diffuses the light. It's the same way of looking at light through a lampshade versus taking the lampshade off and seeing that bulb burning your eye.
Think of taking a photo in the direct sunlight, harsh shadows, oversaturated colors versus on a cloudy day when everything's more natural, more even tone. There's no harsh shadows because the clouds are diffusing it. This is exactly what that is.
So now when we say 3-point lighting system, that is the ideal lighting setup for an interview. So you have your key light. That'll be the light that provides the majority of light to your face. You'll have the backlight, and then there's the third one. I forget its name. But they all serve a different purpose to create a unique perspective, bringing the subject from the background and providing that light. So that is something I'm going to work on. I've been taking a couple TikTok courses, a couple Reels courses, so you should be seeing more of that.
You're going to put that money to use, girl.
Okay, now to our sponsors. Obviously, I love Edward. He's still around.
I used Edward last week, and then I took the cookie photo of Eddie, and I posted it to my LinkedIn, and I tagged the business. And I said,
and this is why people say, no, you don't need LinkedIn. LinkedIn is business marketing.
And I've had LinkedIn for so many years for all the business that I've worked in, but I posted to LinkedIn, and I said, hey, it's so awesome when your passion and your job collide. I love being able to market for my own company, but it's awesome to be able to market for other companies. Thank you, Tailored Living, for investing in your clients and supporting me. And guess who it tagged? The business owner.
Right, great, because that's who's the admin of. So LinkedIn has business pages similar to Facebook. Granted, target audience on LinkedIn is more B2B, which means business to business.
Corporate
orders. Eddie. Eddie is great. Obviously, if you haven't experienced Eddie, the Eddie Facebook group is a plethora of ideas and concepts. People are printing on marshmallows, cheese, chips,
M&M. Someone just did. I don't know how they did
macarons. They're printing on the shells. There's a really cool. I see a lot of
that. You said the word shell, like you knew what it was called.
I think you said it. You said my shell was hollow.
I know, but usually sometime, hey,
my shell was broken. Oh no, our table is broken. But Eddie is, if you don't know what he is, he prints directly on food.
With FDA-approved ink.
Edible ink. I think it's gluten-free and nut-free. They have all of that listed on their website. It's a pretty cool product. $3,000, so you're definitely going to need to have your numbers dialed in to see if it's worth it. They do have a refurbish program. If you can find one there, I think you save a couple $100. Cool product. Definitely going to want to have a marketing plan behind him so that he covers his cost. You'll know Corey and I will always say, don't price any less for an Eddie cookie. He has the big cost associated with them, even though you save on time. And that's where you recoup that money.
Yeah.
Okay, Bakety Bake.
Next is Bakety Bake. Bakety Bake is a meringue powder that's made by actually another cookier based out of Idaho. Courtney Post. And she offers our group 10% off with the code TWINS at checkout. Okay, I want to explain why I love this meringue powder, and it's my favorite. I've always used Genie's. I have nothing against Genie's. If Genie's works for you, stick with Genie's. But I've never been able to do a fine tip marker when using Genie's. I always poke through, and that's so frustrating to get to the very end of your decorating cookie journey just to have the pen poke through and then to have that circle of grossness where the pen poked through. So I just told myself, Corey, you're not going to be able to do those cookie designs. It's not going to be something that you are able to do. I always wondered what people were doing differently. I would comment on a few people and be like, what are you doing differently? And they're like, well, it could be humidity. It could be this. I got a dehumidifier. I didn't change anything. But then when Bakety Bakes came to us, I said, we don't like to support anyone who I haven't tried yet. Can I just get something to test and see if it's going to be a good meringue powder? Guys, I will not use anything else. If you sell her out, I will hunt you down.
She posted a photo. She was like, whoa, orders.
Yeah, so you guys have really supported her. I will continue to support her because it gives you a little bit more time before it crusts over. And I'm not talking like minutes or hours. Royal icing crusts as soon as you put it out there, but it gives you probably another 15 seconds to fix any of the issues.
It's not sugar cookie decorating. It's sugar cookie problem fixing.
Heather says that in every class.
It lands perfectly. We've taught so many of these in-person cookie classes that I know which jokes do well, and it is on repeat.
So definitely check out baketybakeIdaho.com.
What'd you just call them?
Heather. And use code TWINS at checkout to save 10%. And when you buy from her, you're actually supporting. Small cookie.
Affirmed it. Okay, now final sponsor is actually today is their out of beta launch day. So congratulations to Cast Iron. Cast Iron is a website builder, which a lot of you want to know how to make a website really easily, and Cast Iron says, we got you, boo. Also, we're going to make it free to you. I was incorrect in my last podcast when I said that Cast Iron charges you 15%. Actually, they don't charge you anything. So Cast Iron is 100% free to the seller. It tacks onto the buyer a 10%, not 15%, charge of the cost of goods sold, and that 10% goes to pay Cast Iron. Because like we said, we all got to make our money. Nothing in life is free, nor should it be if you create a good product. And Mark and Emily have really sat down to create a really awesome product. Mark is the brains, Emily is the beauty. With their powers combined, they have put together in the group right now is going on a contest that ends.
When Emily schooled you last week on everything you
Emily's
said wrong,
like, hey,
she said, I'm the brains too. You are an
Emily
idiot.
was like, hello, Heather. I love you. She validated me, and then she said, you got 100% of the things wrong. But Cast Iron passes all the fees onto the buyer. So you actually are, it's completely free for the baker to use it. And the buyer, and you can add in tax, and they have it all built out. Oh, and one thing that they added last night before launch day was all the things you need to accept a custom order.
Did they do the photo thing?
I have to go check. They gave us a login. Emily's actually going to teach a live on the entire software.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so she's going to walk everybody through it. If you have a website that's been like neglected because you just got frustrated with it, I'm going to say Cast Iron is going to be great for you. Now, I hate to say, but Emily told me to say this. They're going to every month migrate 25 people over to Cast Iron.
Guys,
that means she's doing all the work.
Understand what that means for you.
I actually tried to tell her, like, I don't think that's a great idea. I think you'll be inundated. And she's like, that's my job, to be inundated. So what that means is 25 of you each month, she'll take your website, whether it's on Square or it's on Shopify or if it's like crying on Weebly or Wix, and she'll put you guys on the Cast iron platform. Now, that doesn't require you to give up your old website at all. She'll do the migration, and technically you'll have 2 websites until you choose to cancel the old one if you really enjoy cast iron. Canceling the old one means you're not paying that at $30 a month, at $15 a month. Cast iron, again, is completely free to you. Down the road, they're going to do the custom domain. Right now, you will be on a cast iron subdomain. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Emily will help you walk you through that. But really, really, really cool platform. I had a screen share. We did a Google Meet, me, Mark, and Emily, and they walked me through everything. And just anything that I wished was in these, like, we were trying to make Square work for you, and people are like, I don't want to hide my address, and I want that. They have added it, and they're constantly. So in the Facebook giveaway today, they're giving away 5 for each group, the Cookie College and Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, 5 Snapper packages, which are $150.
Explain what this guys.
This is their idea.
I wanted to win.
This is a good idea. So Snapper is a website that finds a bunch of local to you photographers, and you can hire them to come out and take either food photos or lifestyle photos if you wanted, whatever you want. They suggest food photos because that'll be best for your website. But it's $150 for them to send out a photographer for the hour, and Cast Iron is sponsoring 5 of you in each group, so 10 total, to get that package for absolutely no cost to you.
Is that live right now?
Yeah, so all Emily asks is that you go to the post that I made, this is Heather speaking, and type in the comments your favorite set and why, and then go check out Cast Iron today. It's free to make an account. I'll be making an account. I need to set up, I'm going to set you up on it as one of the options, and we're going to teach people how to do that in the Cookie College. Emily will be doing a live, I think, in both groups, so don't sweat that there.
Okay.
Really cool product. And I feel like congratulating both Mark and Emily for the launch today, because that's pretty awesome to come out of beta testing.
Our 1 year is their day 1.
Aww. We're all playing it, but I like
We'll celebrate next year together.
So the mailbag coin, I didn't get a chance to go out there. Maybe we can bribe her to do it when she goes home to treat her headache today. But thank you guys for tuning in, and thanks for 1 year.
Thank you for a fantastic, dramatic, highs, lows,
laughing, crying,
sideways,
deleting, banning,
beads,
heat sealers.
1 year.
Here's to next year of everyone absolutely surpassing everything that they did this past year.
Boo boo.